Hi there everybody, I'm Jennifer Angel. This is my report for you Capricorn for 2018. What a year it is. I mean, I know that a lot of us, and particularly a lot of my Capricorn friends, and me too, I must say, I'm sort of like happy to say goodbye to 2017, but you know, we've always got to look at what we learned from it, the lessons, and sometimes when we get in an uncomfortable place, it's actually moving us to a much better place. So, you know, bring it on 2018. There's so much going on for this year. There really is. And for us Capricorns, I mean, this is a year where we really can just step into our personal power. Yay. And, you know, own who we are and take up residence in the space that we've always dreamed of occupying. Okay, so it's time just to go for gold, go for broke, go for gold, whatever that term is that you know, that you relate to. I like go for gold personally. Okay, so let's go through and have a look. What we're going to do is cover the planets. We've got, it's quite a big year with major planetary movements happening this year, and Saturn is one of them. So we're going to cover that. That's our ruling planet. We will go through the areas of life, the main areas of life: love, career, money, spirit, and then finish off by looking at what's happening on a month-by-month basis, what sort of stands out. And of course then, you know, during the year we'll look at, you know, the weekly reports and the monthly horoscope written reports more closely. Okay. Okay, so let's start with love. All right, so relationships, they can show up this year in a non-traditional form. All right, so you may not have as much control as you like. We do like to have a certain amount of control, I must admit that. So we like to be organized, but you can achieve both freedom and togetherness. Okay, so if we can get like freedom and togetherness, that's really, you know, the best outcome. So freedom to do what we want, and that feeling of togetherness that gives us sort of a certain sort of connection and safeness in the world, that we belonging in the world. All right, so you want to be ready to accept something or someone different. It can be, you know, it may not be someone different, it might be just a different situation. And, you know, traditionally Capricorn is very traditional, and we've got Uranus moving into Taurus, our fellow earth sign, and in an area which is very good for connections and very good for love connections, but all connections really. So that's sort of where that comes from. Now, Uranus in Taurus really sort of highlights monetary situations and different monetary situations too. So we will have a look at that when we get to the money topic. So, you know, home and family area where Uranus has been for some time, it's a slow moving outer planet, and it's had like a 9-year transit, going into about another 9-year transit. It's going to be in this area of our chart through till, I don't have the exact date here, but it will actually, on its retrograde transit, will move back into our home and family area. You know, basically it's in this area of connections, which are very good for negotiations as well with money. And that's part of us, you know, standing in our own sort of power and being able to ask for what we're worth. Okay, but still on the relationship area, there is a solar eclipse in middle of July in our right opposite us and relationships, and there's also lunar and solar eclipses in our area of intimacy, so that allows us just to get a little closer to someone. All right, so I mean, intimacy, I mean, sure, it's about sex, I mean, but it's much more than sex. Intimacy is about feeling safe to share yourself and your secrets and your feelings and your inner desires and more of who you are with someone. And once you do that, it then opens the door for them to do the same, and hence you build that intimacy between you and another. So that just helps with the whole being connected with someone, being together with someone, still having your freedom, and to be able to build that sense of belonging with someone. So that's all like in your star chart for this year. But with eclipses, things can come out of the blue, and also with Uranus, they can also come out of the blue. It can be quite surprising. So you don't, expect the unexpected. I mean, if you're like me as a Capricorn, I don't know whether it's maybe my Sagittarian rising, but, whenever I've met the loves of my life, it's almost been like I've walked around the corner and literally bumped into them, It's been like one of those real chance meetings. As my girlfriend says, there's no such thing as a chance meeting. So who knows? All right. So anyway, but the one thing that does come out and stand out is that it's likely, we all have in our mind this certain person and type of relationship that we want, and it's likely to come in totally different to that. So you want to be open and flexible, have an open mind and an open heart. All right, let's move on to career, one of our most favorite topics. And so creative ventures can come up this year and be supported by long-term dreams, all right, with your career life. And that's very much to do with Saturn moving into our sign. And we have with that creativity with Uranus in our 5th house is very much a creative vibration. So it's all to do with our work and our career. The more, we're great organizational people, and we get things sort of down in paper, business-like. So, allow this year for your creativity and your imagination, particularly as Jupiter is going to move into the sign before ours, right in towards the end of the year in November. That's going to really open up opportunities of a more spiritual nature, a more creative nature, inspirational. So your instincts are going to be heightened. So leading up to that point is about setting the solid foundations, because Saturn in our sign, that's what Saturn does. Saturn is about responsibility. It's cautious. It gives you choices. It encourages you to think about the choices, make good decisions that are going to last the test of time. Saturn helps to build things up that are well built on solid foundations, that sets them in concrete, so you can move forward on them. So what you're doing this year, you want to also be mindful of cleaning out people, things, situations, okay? Basically anything that's hindering your progress and anything that's really just not useful anymore. So, whenever you're listening to this, if you haven't done your goals, this is a good time to do it, okay? So, and by goals, I mean, you don't have to do them formally on your computer. You can just get a journal and write them down. I write a lot of notes on my iPhone, on my smartphone. So, it's just how it helps with this busy electronic world, just to keep control of things. So when you've got thoughts, get it down, and there's that old saying, if you plan to fail, you fail to plan, and I really do believe that. And this year, we have an opportunity to set in place something fabulous. This is a 3-year transit, and it all starts with a positive thought, followed by massive amounts of action and bam, there's your success. Okay, your contacts are important this year. You know, those chance meetings and signposts, I mean, they can just sort of come out of the blue, open up opportunity. Certainly with Jupiter in our area of friendships and connections as well. So, you know, there's like on a social level, it's almost like the people you meet socially can help you with business, and the people you meet business can end up being socially. So for a Capricorn, and Leo's the other one too, can quite often happen, you know, like that. But it's a meaningful year, and you know, it's a meaningful 3 years really, because the Saturn transit is the 3 years. But when it like is moving out of a sign and ingressing into the next sign, when it's moving out, it's at that 29 degree. When it's moving in, it's at the 0 degree. Both of those degrees are like critical degrees. They intensify a situation. So what happens in this like closing off to the end of 217 and opening up to 218, say the first 3 to 6 months, really in my mind it's very significant. It's sort of like, you know, okay, this, you know, it may not have fallen into place just yet, but you can see where it's heading. So be positive, have faith, keep your dreams top of mind. Okay, so never give up on your dreams. So it's, in that sense, it's a hugely powerful year. And for money also, you know, so the lessons that you learned in 2017, they can come like full circle now and be a big part in your life. And opportunities can, you know, be put forward because we've got like eclipses in our money zone. So we can get opportunities for financial security and financial partnerships. Hey, I like both of those because, you know, it's nice to work with people. I mean, it's nice to be the boss too, but, you know, one person can only do so much. Can one person make a difference? Absolutely. But, you know, can a team make a greater sort of difference? Also, it's more enjoyable, I think so anyway, just to be able to work with other people. So we've got like eclipses in the both money houses, like the second money house, there's solar and lunar eclipses, and so this is going to help to bring the finances in and ease things up a bit, and that's pretty well right from February, okay, and we'll have a look in the monthly chart on that. And then in the 8th house, which is other people's money, and this is the area that I was talking about intimacy before as well. It's also an area of money, other people's money, where if you're looking for investments, or it can be windfalls, it can be inheritances and dividends, money that you're not necessarily going to work for 4 hours and getting paid for 4 hours for, that type of thing. And royalties, or that type of thing. So very, very strong this year that can come through. All right, so financially, career, it's shaping up to be a very strong, positive year for us. On a spiritual level, a deeper understanding and reconnection with family can open your heart to receive blessings. So I do have Chiron moving into this area. Chiron is like the healing planet. It's a slow-moving planet. It does have shorter and longer transits. It's been in Pisces for 8 or 9 years. It's going to move into Aries for 8 or 9 years. So it's more of a physical healing, and it's in our home and family zone. So if you've been estranged from family, and it's often like called the wounded healer, and it brings in past lessons, and it brings in soul healing and karmic healing. So if you've been estranged from a family member, or you just have some fences to mend, then that can happen over this time. All right, and that's really particularly over this next year, I see that us Capricorns can really get a lot of spiritual healing, okay, because you heal sort of family, you're really healing your spirit on that sense. And with Capricorn in our sign, it does sort of bring in sort of father and authoritative maybe issues or reconnections there as well. And with Pluto being in our sign as well as Capricorn, the two aren't going to connect at the same degree until 2020. But with the energy of both in our sign, it's very, very powerful. Pluto is a planet of transformation. Capricorn builds things up. And the only thing here is that if we have two words for these two planets, it's like Capricorn is about intention, putting your intention out, putting it into action, because it's in our sign, which is a action-oriented cardinal sign, and Pluto highlights the need to do it from a high level of integrity. Okay, so intention, integrity, and take responsibility. So there's a lot going on. I hope it's a great year. It certainly looks like it can come through for us. So it's hard. It's going to be some hard work, long hours, because that's what Saturn does, but that doesn't scare a Capricorn, and what comes out of it is very meaningful results and outcomes and strong, solid structures. So it's going to be worthwhile. All right, let's have a look at each of the months. And well, so first off, in January, it's like there's new things happening, being put in together. You're meeting with people. Financial situations can come through almost, like as a surprise. Foundations are set, and you're putting things into action. There's a huge, big push for a start along your career. Is going to be very busy, like if you're thinking about having a break, have a break, recharge your energy over the holidays if you're listening to this before the holidays, because you're going to need it, right? It's going to really be very busy straight off the mark. Now let's move through to February. Still things happening, I mean, with the Pluto Capricorn vibration in our sign for the whole year, then there's going to be focus on initiating and putting things sort of in place. Monetary, more focus on money. For February, things can come through from money, and it can come from different areas that you don't expect it to come from, all right? And then there's a lot of spirituality and voicing and getting in touch and learning education about spirituality and inspiration and creativity going on in March. That continues through April, and then in May there's April and May there's more focus on our home and family. Connections, good connections in May also. There's a restructure of some type around business. And in June, also something new starting in June, which gets the sort of kickoff with the Mars energy and puts into action. And almost like a new start happening there. Relationships are more focused in July, okay, mid-year. It does seem to be a connection with business there as well. So you could be, it's not unlike Capricorn to meet someone through business. So that's, quite possible. August is still focused on Capricorn. Monetary support can come through in August as well. There's intimacy with relationships, August, September. You could be traveling or learning something new in October. Still a great push on something new starting right through the second half of the year. And when Jupiter, we're like in November, friendships, social events, connecting with people. Once again, you could be getting involved in charitable events towards the end of the year. In Jupiter, particularly when Jupiter moves into Sagittarius, and that takes you through December as well. And so the year finishes off very much as Jupiter will move into Sagittarius. It's going to move into your soul searching and inspirational area of life. And so there's a lot of coming into ourselves. So I do feel through all the busyness of the year, by the time we get to the end of the year, it's like, well, deep breath. Wow, that was a whirlwind. Some of it was uphill and challenging, but you know what? We did it, okay? And there's that sense of accomplishment. So here's hoping, hey? I certainly do hope all of that prediction comes true for us. So, but at the end of the day, it's still our responsibility, to make it happen and to recognize the signposts and the chance meetings, and to, just be prepared to step out of our comfort zone somewhat and make it happen, okay? Especially with that Saturn energy and vibration. All right, so thank you so much for watching me. Do go along and listen to the snapshot as well, the 2-minute version. And I will see you next year with the weekly reports. And if you haven't been to jenniferanger.com to subscribe to my newsletter, please do that. There are some gifts. There'll be coupons and discounts and things through there through the year, and lots of news and information. I'm a little bit slow getting it started. Somebody mentioned they hadn't received a newsletter yet. Just trying to get these videos out first. Stand by, it's coming. All right, so love and luck to you. Best of wishes. Happy New Year, and we'll see you through 2018. Bye for now.